Hello. So I decided I'm gonna do a video on pagans and mental health. First of all, I will sort of disclaimer this by saying that I am no expert as far as what goes on in the pagan community. I have read one essay in this book. This is the book. This is the essay. That's the author. So I had no idea this kind of stuff was going on, and just kind of on the off chance that this is a big issue that I'm not really very aware of, I'm gonna talk about it because I feel like I can lend something to this discussion. So basically what I wanted to say is I think the fact that the way this opens up, let me just say, is they give the author, Lupa, gives a sort of generic, like, if you're applying to this coven, like, just fill in the blank kind of coven name, you must not be in treatment for any psychological or psychiatric problems or be taking any medications to treat these problems. The powerful rituals this coven performs work along similar lines as therapeutic practices, and there may be conflict with such treatments. Additionally, we can only accept people who are responsible adults and are able to handle their problems effectively without medication or drama. I read that and I, like, legitimately almost threw the book across the room. Like, that's how angry I got. And that's just like the opening paragraph. I had no idea what this woman was gonna say about this topic. It just made me that mad. So she happens to be an actual counselor and knows what she's talking about too. So I was very pleased when I finished reading, but what concerns me is the fact that there's things like that out there and that people, I guess being that I'm in the field that I'm in, I feel like it's a lot more common knowledge stuff than maybe it really is. Mental illness isn't something people can just, like, fix and control and do sometimes without medications. Certain mental illnesses literally are chemical imbalances in the brain. Like, legitimately, there's a brain defect that needs to be fixed by a chemical. Like, there's no energy work you can do for that. Like, in particular, bipolar disorder. You need mood stabilizers. That's not something someone can control or deal with effectively and as a responsible adult without medication. Like, I understand kind of the point they're trying to make, and I understand the reason that those disclaimers are there. It's because people don't want to deal with people who cause drama. But you can't shun people like that. Like, here's my issue with people who just sort of reject that whole category of people. I understand you want ritual to be a smooth, pleasant experience for everybody. But people who are mentally ill a lot of the times are people who need that experience more than anyone else. And when you're rejecting them like that, they're not able to get the actual help they need because you're not even letting them give it a shot in the first place. Like, I understand if you let somebody in a group and they are causing so many problems after you've already tried to kind of integrate them and help them out, then yeah, you may have to turn somebody away. But you can't just do that before you've even tried. Like, this is what makes me mad, and this is maybe one thing that we can kind of learn from people from other faiths that we haven't quite integrated yet. I go to my fiance's church once in a long while just because we're home and his whole family goes there and whatever. And they are a Mormon church, so I know there's a lot of things with that. There's a lot of drama, there's a lot of BS that goes on. But there's a woman who goes to his church who's schizophrenic, who lays down on the floor during sermons and prays to herself quietly in a pew towards the back where she's not bothering anybody, or towards the front sometimes where she's not bothering anybody. And they don't kick her out, they don't shun her, she doesn't disrupt anything, she's just doing her own thing there. And she feels good coming to church, and she's told them that it helps her significantly to be there and be part of the community. Why would we not want to do the same thing for people like that? Because I can tell you right now, a huge part of any psychological treatment is getting people involved with some kind of community mental health. That is a huge component to just about any problem you could have mental health-wise. No matter whether it's bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or maybe you have a substance abuse problem. Like, it's really important to be integrated in the community. And when we're shunning people like that, how do we expect anybody to get better or heal? And there's my cat in the background. Hi, Lou. I just don't understand. I don't understand that mindset. Like, I really can't wrap my head around the mindset of just outright shunning someone before you've given them an opportunity Some of those people, some of the people who come up to you and have a mental illness or a problem, they've never been treated or diagnosed. You might be the people that help make them realize that they need some help or that there are things that can be done. If you want to do that medically, that's fine. If you want to do that spiritually, that's really not your place, but I guess that's fine too. The point is, I think we can really help people like that. And I say people like that, I have mental illness too. I suffer from a pretty severe anxiety disorder. It doesn't make me incapable of doing ritual. It doesn't disrupt anything. And anxiety disorders are extremely prevalent. 18% of Americans have an anxiety disorder. Think of how many people you could potentially be excluding just with one type of disorder. That doesn't include everything else. I just think, I guess my point in bringing this up at all is that it's something that people need to think about, and it's something you need to be aware of, and maybe it's something we need to make some changes in dealing with. I did not realize this problem existed, and I guess good for me, I've never tried to get into a coven because for all I know, I could be turned away just for having anxiety problems. Like, there's no, the whole definition of what it means to be a responsible adult I think is also really dumb, because I think a responsible person who knows that they have a mental health problem would try and get treatment, would not try and not get treatment so that they can get into a coven and then disrupt everything there because they're not getting any kind of help. Because apparently people want to pretend like those problems don't exist, like, And I know I've had my own dad at times tell me that a lot of my problems are just in my head and you should deal with it and you can get over it and stuff. And that's not how those work. Like, I guess we just need to educate people a little bit more, and if I can help with that, if people have questions about something that I can help with, I'm not an expert yet, but I'm gonna be. Like, that's what I'm going to school for right now. My goal is to be a clinical psychologist. So if I can help anybody with any questions with just the bare minimum knowledge that I know, and I'm about to graduate with a bachelor's degree in psychology, so I feel like I know at least a little bit, I'm more than happy to answer questions or have respectful discussions on this. I know a lot of people out there have opinions on this, and it's just purely out of misinformation. The same way, think about this, that a lot of people out there have poor opinions of pagans because they don't actually understand what we're about. I feel like that is the exact same problem that people with mental health issues face from our own community. That's like the pot calling the kettle black. Like, that's not okay. So, that's all I want to say about it. Like, this is probably the most impassioned video I've ever done, but it really bothers me. I just don't think that this should be an issue, and if it is, I want to help it not be. So don't think that I'm angry at you. If you feel the opposite of what I've said, I'm not yelling at you, I'm just trying to have a discussion, and I feel very strongly about it, so don't take it the wrong way, please. But if you have questions, if you have thoughts, if you have comments, I want to hear them, like I really do. So just try and be nice and respectful about it, I guess, because I'll try and do the same. I wouldn't want to start calling people bad names or anything like that. So, before I start choking on my own spit, I'm going to end this. So, bye.